Is social media addiction a real thing? Or are you checking your phone every 5 minutes just a bad habit? In either case, we can all take a break from our phones, so stick around for some strategies that are going to help you cut down your phone use. Hey everyone, this is Harry Chediar. Today we're talking about social media. Before we get into it, if you're new to this channel, remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified as I release new videos. When it comes to social media, people have a fear of missing out. We all want to stay in the loop with what's happening in our friends' lives and with what's happening in the world. That's all well and good, but when we spend a lot of time on social media, it can come in the way of us being present in our life. And that can be problematic. See, social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, it's all designed to get our attention. And quite frankly, it can be addictive. It's all about instant gratification. Each time you get a like, a comment, or a notification on your phone, you check it quickly because your mind expects that there's going to be a little bit of joy at the end of it. And what you're really experiencing there is a rush of dopamine in your brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that allows us to experience pleasure. Now, I'm not here to preach to you about social media use. I myself use social media. What I want to do is weigh out the benefits and the problems when it comes to using a lot of social media. Alright, when it comes to the benefits, social media allows us to stay connected with people. Even though it might not be in person, you can stay in touch with people that are thousands of miles away in different countries. And for small business owners such as myself, social media allows us to market services in the local community. Now, the problem with social media use, especially when we use it a lot, is that it has a way of making us mindless. It takes all of our attention and it becomes really hard to focus on other important aspects of our life. The other issue is that it gives us a false sense of reality. We look at pictures on Instagram and Facebook and we think this is this other person being really happy. And sometimes we start to compare our own life to their life. But the truth is, they're just posing for that one picture. It might not really be their reality either. Dr. Mark Griffiths, a professor of behavioral addiction, and Dr. Daria Kus, a psychologist, looked at the research around social media use and mental health. They found that for some people, social media usage is linked with anxiety, depression, ADHD, and even addiction. They suggested asking yourself these 6 questions to find out if you're at risk of developing a social media addiction. Number 1, do you spend a lot of time thinking about social media? Number 2, do you feel urges to use social media more and more? Number 3, do you use social media to forget about personal problems? Number 4, do you try to reduce your social media usage, but a lot of times you're unsuccessful? Number 5, do you become restless if you're not able to use social media? And the final question, do you use social media so often that it negatively affects your job or your education? In their research, they found that not many people are completely addicted to social media. But they suggested that some people can engage in behaviors that are unhealthy. For example, people that are using their phone when they're around their friends and family, and they're not really paying attention to the conversation and being present. And in some cases, people can engage in behaviors that are dangerous. For instance, using their phone while they're driving to check their social media newsfeed. Now, if you think your social media use is excessive, I would say start by trying to figure out if it's emotionally driven or if it's behaviorally driven. Now, if it's emotionally driven, your social media use may just be a way for you to cope because those personal problems can be emotionally heavy, and so you might be going into social media as a way to just escape that. If that's the case, I would say tune into your emotions so that you know what's actually going on for you underneath. Maybe you're feeling frustrated with your partner, or there's some sadness, or maybe you're worried about your school and this is a way for you to procrastinate. In these cases, you want to find other helpful ways to soothe your emotions so you can actually face those problems and have that difficult conversation with your partner, or find ways to problem solve and work through the issues that you're having at school. If you don't think it's emotionally driven, it might be more behavioral. Although a lot of times these two can be connected, in some cases it's just habits that we've picked up over the years, and now we just need to find a way to change those behaviors. Now, before I get into the strategies, I just want to point out that these strategies might be effective for a lot of people, but it might not be the case for everyone. If you have a strategy that's worked really well for you, I would love to hear it. Please leave it in the comment section down below. As a strategy, I would say start by making it so that your phone is less accessible to you. See, everything is tied in together with our phone. Our calendars, our alarms, our emails, our texts, everything. So find ways to separate some of that so you don't need your phone all the time. This way, you can actually put your phone out of sight. In our house, we keep our phone in the box that we store our mail. It almost reminds me of when we had wired phones and you had to go to the phone to actually answer the phone. Another thing that you can do is to take your social media apps and store it on the last page of your phone. This way, it's not on the home screen where you can see it all the time, and it can be really tempting when you see it right there each time. If you don't think this will do the job for you, then you can step it up a notch. In my case, I use the screen time limit on my iPhone. I'm sure Android phones have it too, where you can choose the apps that you want to limit and you can put a timer on it. So in my case, I have a limit of 30 minutes, and more than that, I won't use social media in a day. And when it comes to my computer, I do the same thing so that there's a blocking extension on my browser. That way I don't cross that time limit. The last thing I'll suggest for a behavioral strategy is to remove the notification on each of your social media apps. When you go into your phone in the settings, you'll be able to find in Facebook, Instagram, all of them, you'll be able to turn off the notification and the sound. The notification and the sound is actually what reinforces this behavior. Each time you see it on your phone, it's tempting. You want to go in and check it. Each time you hear that sound for the notification, you go in and check it. If you want to break this habit, well, let's take that notification off so you can actually decide when you have free time and when you want to use that social media. If you found this video helpful, remember to hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. It'll help me grow my channel. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get notified as I release new videos.